and put your hands together. Ericka Carter.
First Sunday in March 1995, I was at church, wheeling my mother to the first pew. Now listen, we were about 5, maybe 10 minutes late. The service had already started. Ooh, the looks, the stares that we got. And all the smiles and the tears that were coming down people's faces. And there was just a joyful noise I never heard at the church of my upbringing. See, I hadn't been to church in, several years. Not the church of my upbringing. Church of Christ out in River Rouge on Polk Street. Okay? Little old-fashioned, little bitty church. Maybe about 150 active members. And just the murmurings and everything. And my mother and I, we sat at the first pew. And it was amazing. Because, see, I hadn't been to church in about several years. Last time I was at church, I was an overweight teen with acne and glasses. But this Sunday, I was sharp, baby. I was feeling good, looking good, birds flying high. You know the whole thing, baby. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. And I was feeling good. I was a size 7, 8. I had my hair in a platinum bob, cutting a horseshoe. Baby, I had a cream-colored Nehru collar skirt suit past the knee. I was modest, no cleavage. And I had a swing coat, cream-colored to match, one shade higher, to die for. So, I was feeling good. And my mother was looking good. She had a royal blue skirt suit. And she was radiant. She was so joyful because, see, she hadn't been to church in about 3-4 months due to hip surgery. And I had vowed to take my mother to church as often as her health would allow. See, being at the Church of Christ, she was with her Church of Christ people, her folks. And it was just a joy that day. But right after services, there was a noise I had never heard before. I mean, people got up and they raced towards my mother and I, hugging and just saying, "Oh, Ericka, it's so good to see you. Oh, my goodness, you're here." And my mother's just soaking it all up because, Sister Bishop and, Sister Adams, everybody just came and gave us all this love. And it was just something I had never experienced because, see, at Church of Christ, we the only Church of Christ, not COGIC, let me say, Church of Christ, we the only church that's going to make it to the pearly gates. And after the sifting and the chaffing of the wheat, not all of us that's in the right church going to make it. Very somber church, no speaking in tongues, no, okay? No singing with music. Everything is a cappella from the hymn book. We ain't got no tambourines and none of that going on. So it's very somber. But this day the church was electric. And my mother and I, we were just imbued with all this love. And as per usual, we made our way to the podium. And at the podium is where we always would meet prior to church and after services to say our goodbyes to next week in fellowship. So we fellowship at the podium before church and right after services. And right at that podium, to my right, there he was. Ever since I was a child coming to church, there was Lord Jesus on the wall, y'all. Oh my God. Jesus with the goatee and the mustache looking like Errol Flynn or Brad Pitt, you know what I'm saying? And his hair was coiffed. That's French for meaning his hair was laid, slayed, and dyed to the side. See, I'm a stylist, so I pay attention to that. It looked like his hair had been roller set and then combed out, looking like Al Sharpton. Jesus on the wall was fine, y'all, so I was just like, okay, my God. Now, y'all know the picture. Jesus looking like he could be surfing and, and saving souls and surfing and everything. But the thing about it is this. We had all this joy and jubilation I've never experienced at my church of my upbringing. And my mother couldn't have been happier because I had brought her to church. But with all this joy and all this just love just raining down on us, we heard piercing through the air that noise. That sound of that three-pronged spider cane stabbing into the floor. And then the clearing of her throat. And there she was, Sister Nash. This little tiny, diminutive woman, maybe 97 pounds soaking wet, just tiny. And here she was, stabbing forward with her eyes just locked onto me. And she just came. And as she approached me, I looked at everybody and gave them a look of, I got this, don't worry, don't worry. And they moved a little bit past the podium. But by the time I turned around and to my left, there she was, right up under me. I mean, this woman was close enough for me to smell the denture cream and those old crunchy mints that she chewed on in church every Sunday. This woman was close enough for me to smell the blue magic pressing cream in her hair. And she had always wore this old tight-fitting church hat, tilted to the side slightly. And those little struggle curls coming up from underneath. You know the type of curls where you roll your hair with those old school sponge rollers. I don't know, she probably rolled her hair with some twigs because she was old as Methuselah. But let me just say, this woman had been old ever since I was about 5, 6 years old. And here it is. This woman is right up on me. And she says to me, baby, I just want to know, where do you sit with your mother's children? I said, well, Sister Nash, she said, because your mother, Sister Irene, yeah, your mother, she didn't have 7 children. Yes, she's had 7 of us. Yes, but 5 of your bastards, though. I said, well, Sister Nash, yeah, because the first 2, Charlene and Charles, they by her husband that she never divorced. That no good Charlie Carter, you know, the one that looked like Reverend Knight with that slick, oily hair and them pretty teeth and dark skin and fancy clothes that didn't come to church too much. Yeah, them first 2, those the only legitimate ones. I said, well, Sister Nash, and she said, and then there's Sister Linda. She became a doctor. And her father, he was Mr. Hamilton. He was, wasn't he Armenian and looking like, because she looked like she could be a little Jewish, a little black and a little Armenian. I said, yes, Sister Nash. And then she said, and then you got their brother Tyrone. He comes to church fairly regularly, but you don't know who his father is. I said, his father is Mr. Hightower. Yes, because your auntie, she told it, yeah. I said, Sister Nash. And she said, and then she had these last 3 boys, them twins, Jerome and Jamal, and that little one named Ricky that became fat. And yeah, that one wore them glasses. Yeah. I said, well, Sister Nash, that was by that gangster J.D. Landrum. He had one eye, he wore a glass eye, and he had a twin, and they was drug dealers. They called them the Gold Dust Twins. Yeah. Well, Sister Nash, I don't understand. Your mother's father is a Church of Christ preacher, and she got 7 children and 5 pastors. And I just wants to know, baby, where do you sit with your mother's children? said, Sister Nash. And she said, coming in church all dressed like that, I like your outfit, but you got all this white blonde hair. You're not no white woman, baby. So I contained myself and I drew a breath and I went like this. And I looked at Jesus on the wall, but he's to the left of me now at the podium. Everybody over there about 4, 5, 6 feet, they edging away. And I said, Lord, forgive me. And I peered down at her because she had her glasses on, you know. I said, listen here, you old bitch. I said, you know exactly who the fuck I am. I said, I'm Ricky. I'm, the little fat one that became fat because I was skinny when I was little, but I became fat as a child growing up because, I ended up having an eating disorder back then. Now we call it PTSD. I'm just giving you a side note. But I said, yes, I'm that one that you harassed every Sunday. I'm that one who used to stand by my mother as you tried to tear her down every Sunday that she came to church. I said, that's me, Ricky. I said, I look good, don't I? And she went. She didn't have no pearls, but she was clutching. I wish she had them, then I could say she clutched pearls. But she went. I said, yes. I said, and I just want you to know, every time you see me and you see my mother, you are not going to go ahead and tear us down and bully us and make us feel less than. Not in the house of the Lord, you're not. And she took a step back. I said, I just want you to know I've forgiven you. But every time I see you, do know you ain't going to fuck with us. And she went. And she stood there, all by her lonesome, with her mouth agape. And I was just wishing that her doggone, both of her bridges, top and bottom, her dentures would have just fell out of her mouth and bounced off the ground with a little spittle for sound effect. And I said, oh, that would have been doggone it, a prayer answer. But it was enough to leave her right there. Because with that doggone cream color, swing coat. As I walked off, swish. And I went to the joy. Because Jesus said, you either for me or against me. So I went with those who was for me. Okay? And there she was, all by her lonesome, once again. Because see, every church got 1, 2, or 3 of those that's so heavenly bound, they ain't no earthly good, right? You know somebody like that, right? Amen, right? But this is what I want to say. We go to church to get us some edification for the rest of the week and get some love from the Lord. But what we do, we'll go ahead and shame a pregnant girl 14 and 15 years old and can't have her coming to church after she had a baby or send her down south somewhere. But we say, well, God's unconditional love, but put all these conditions on the agape love. I'm preaching. Okay? Because there's more than 2 or 3 gathered up in here. But let me just say this. Someone being born is God's miracle of life. And when that young girl needed the church the most, that's when we're supposed to surround her. Bring her in, not shame her out. And then when it comes to the community of the LGBTQIA Campbell Soup community, which I'm a part of as a trans woman and proud of it. I don't even think of trans. I'm Ericka, doggone it. Pronouns, she, her, goddess, 10 exclamation points. Just so you know. just so you know, you go ahead and move us out to church with all that hellfire and brimstone and judgment all up under people's clothes. But we're supposed to be coming together and communing, not canceling each other out. That's the place where you go and get validated, edified, so that we can go ahead and be in the glory and in the image of what? Most High. This is what I want to leave you with. If God got me, who gonna cancel this? See this? I might be light-skinned at it, but it's black stars all up here because I'm a black woman. I'm a black woman. But if y'all know it, y'all can sing it with me, you know. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world. Come on. In his hands, he's got the whole world. In his hands, he's got
Ericka Carter.